Okay, we're live. Um, yeah, I can hear. Okay. Today we're gonna go through. If someone was telling me noise, can't believe. Today we're gonna go through something I was talking to my friend about. So the discussion was basically we were talking about books, and he asked about if I had read the 48 Laws of Power, and I was like, yeah, I read it. I think it's not his best book though. I think Robert Greene's real best book is The Laws of Human Nature. And it's really a shame that that book doesn't get the same recognition 48 Laws of Power gets because, I mean, that will forever be the thing he's known for. That will forever be the thing that people know him for the most. And I think it's a shame because it's one of those books that I guess it's careful marketing because people believe it's an evil book. People believe it's inherently a bad book, but I mean, information is only bad if you apply it in a bad context. I'm sure there's people that read the book and did something bad, but there's probably also people who read How to Win Friends and Influence People and did something bad with that. You know what I mean? It's like any used car salesman that read that book probably scammed some single mother. It's like you can't really fault Dale Carnegie. Information is information, and it's just the person that's using the information, are they using it for good or for bad? And Robert Greene was trying to arm people with the tactics that usually people will use to manipulate others. And it kind of got a bad rap and he kind of leaned into it and it got banned in prisons in Oregon. So, people are just going to be up in arms about everything. I mean, there's also people that like don't understand that them fearing the devil and them like obsessing about the devil and how the devil is doing everything wrong in their life, like actively makes that force stronger and actively makes that force something that is more likely to fixate on them and grab a hold of them, even if it's not real, even if it's just imaginary, it's going to make it more dangerous, more disastrous. But again, people are people, and there's not much common sense here. But I really think The Laws of Human Nature is his best book. So, what's up, Cuddy? How's everything? Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, that's a great take. Honestly, it's typical of the 48 Laws of Power being more popular. It almost reads like a YouTube title. Human Nature is his magnum opus. Really reads his book. Yes, yes. Have you read Mastery too? I really like Mastery as well. I would just put Mastery second because The Laws of Human Nature is it hits at so many different things and it goes so deep into a lot of the concepts. Whereas mastery is kind of like it's great information, don't get me wrong, but it's basically just saying like, yeah, you have to do 10,000 hours of work on something and then you can achieve mastery. Like, thankfully that's towards the end of the book where you already read that far, but yeah.
Nature is stop pointing fingers outside and look at yourself and
The way I describe the laws of human nature is it's learning how to deal with yourself and learning how to deal with yourself in context to others. So being able to tame some of your worst qualities, being able to recognize some other people's faults and not get so worked up about them.
recognize that you have these qualities.
It was Emerson, I can't remember what essay he said this in, but Emerson said that there's no such thing as a bad characteristic that doesn't have a good side to it. There's no such thing as a good characteristic that doesn't have a bad side to it. And it's that idea. You have to use what you have to your benefit and not to your detriment.
Okay, I want to sort of summarize The Laws of Human Nature, my sixth book, and first just very briefly explain why I wrote that book. I wrote that book because in my consulting work that I do and in the emails I got, I noticed that people were really suffering, were really having a lot of problems because they did not understand the people around them. They were making bad decisions, many of the times based on projections of their own desires of what they wanted to see in people. They were hiring the
That's that's a big issue. We like to see ourselves in others, but the truth is we it's never going to happen. Nobody is going to treat any scenario the way you would treat it. And when we get through this idea, when we see it from this perspective, then we can begin to forgive others for what they do to us. Begin to forgive others and maybe you don't keep them around in your life, but you don't linger on the feeling that they've wronged you in any way, that you don't linger on the idea that you need to get back on them. I have a friend, I use this example all the time, but it's just too funny not to share. Like people that we went to high school with, they unfollowed him on Instagram and he's like, "Oh, I that person hates me. Oh, I'm a hater." This it's just like what good does it have for you to hold on to these feelings? You know what I mean? It's like if someone unfollows me, I'm glad. It's like one less person I have to deal with. That's one less person whose dumbass Instagram pictures I have to pretend to like. I have to pretend to be like, oh yeah, I remember this person. Oh yeah, I wonder how they like. You know what I mean? It's like at a certain point, if you're out of my life, I just don't care. It's like if you do something to me, I just don't care about. I don't think about you. Like it's just you no longer get my attention. I have Master my to be read. I have it to read in March, but I might read it sooner. Yeah, I would say about that one, like um the aspects of it I like are the creative elements of it. And it's written in the Robert Greene style. But the one thing about Robert Greene is he doesn't like tend to accept the supernatural. He doesn't really go into the more mystical elements of things. He's very materialistic about certain ideas. So you won't get all you need to get about creativity because creativity truly is God. Creativity truly is God speaking through us and some force that's beyond our comprehension. Basically flowing through us and appearing on the canvas. I mean, you look at the Mona Lisa, does that move you like a work of a human, or does it move you like a work of God? If you look at the Sistine Chapel, do you look at the ceiling and go, "Oh my God, a human being did that," or you're in awe because some part of God was left on that ceiling, on that, you know. It's just this is how I like to think of creativity because it makes so much more sense. Whereas if we just say that people are purely creative geniuses, then that takes us away from this. That takes us away from being able to achieve this. But truly, each and every person has creativity inside of them. They just have to cultivate this force and listen to it. Ooh, what's up, Ashley? Wow, you have the blessing symbol. That's so
Worst
nice.
business partners. They were getting involved with the worst people in romantic relationships. They were having terrible problems dealing with their colleagues, etc. And this is over and over again. And I thought people have this blind spot. They tend to think that because, it's natural to be social, to interact with people, I'm pretty good at it. But no, it's not true. There's
Um, I don't think mastery will help you understand male psychology. It might in certain elements because it might benefit you to look at some of the great minds throughout history, but um, I think the male psychology, it really, if you want to understand it, understand the anima animus principle. Understand why men do certain things. Understand why there's certain men that go out to clubs and look for fights. It's because they have a bad relationship with their anima. It's because in some way, somewhere along the line, like they can't come to grips with the traits that their shadow possesses, with the traits that their anima has. And because they don't have any compassion for themselves, because they don't have any support for themselves, because they don't do the little things for themselves, they hate this side of them and they hate a part of themselves. And until these things get resolved, you will always, in the end, be ruled by these traits. Izzy got flatline. I'm crying, bro. I don't, how do you like Izzy, bro? I don't know. Ever since Strickland went after him and he's like, you like cartoons, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, bro. That's just you can't be a 35-year-old man admitting to liking cartoons in that certain context and get my respect. That's all I'm saying. I'm reading 30 plus books on it, of course, but mastery targets a specific area. I want to read a lot and get a yeah. Okay, okay. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I think if you read specifically for that context, um, it might narrow your focus. I would say if you want to understand male psychology, read a lot of different things, which is maybe what you're doing. But if you're reading like only books about male psychology and they were written in the past 20 years, you're not going to get a fucking answer because everything's going to be politicized. Everything's going to be talking about the news. The issues with males go back to the time of Socrates. They go back to the time of the Spartans. Like, if you want to understand male psychology and where it goes wrong, like it's not something that is gone wrong in the past 50, 60 years. It's just more focused on now because it's an easy thing to get headlines. I love him for striking out his personality. Okay. I'm glad you said that because I was about to ban you. No, I wouldn't ban you for that, but I would just think twice about being so nice to you. What do you think about Pereira? Do you like Pereira? I'm trying to think of my favorite fighter right now. I was gonna make a joke, but I don't want anyone to actually take me serious. It's risky territory. Pereira's probably the most fun to watch. I wouldn't say I'm like one of the Pereira guys, but I like any fight he's in, dude. It's exciting. Like that Khalil Roundtree fight, dude. That was a nasty fight. I really like Yuri. Yuri's a dog. I feel you, bro. I'm honestly really deep with it. I have a good reading list. Okay, okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I just like I don't want you to become like the you got to spread what you're reading around because when you're too restricted in one thing, then everything becomes about that. Like I love reading about spirituality, but like, dude, if I read 30 spiritual books in a row, I will become a monk and I will become the most boring person ever. And it's like maybe later on I can do that, but I got things I have to do right now. You feel like Pereira's gonna lose to Ankalaev? I hope not, dude. Ankalaev is I wouldn't say he's like boring, but I just like I don't like you know those people that get like belts and they're champions and you just don't care about the division anymore. Like Bilal Muhammad isn't even fun to hate. You know what I mean? Like it's not even fun to root against him because it's just I unless you knock him out cold, I think it's going to be a boring fight, and it's going to be a fight that you have to like really grit to win. And it's just I'm not excited for whoever Bilal Muhammad's fighting. I used to feel that way about Islam, but he's starting to become more exciting. Aside from him doing my boy Money Moicano dirty, that made me so sad. Dude, I literally went to like I was like cooking food. I went to check on it. I come back and I just see Moicano out cold, and I just turn off the thing. I was like, I don't even want to hear who he's calling out. I don't even want to hear or see Joe Rogan's stupid ass face going, "Oh my God, that was amazing!" Like, no, I don't. Let Money Moicano just he can't afford to lose. Come on. I think Pereira's beating Ankalaev. Yeah, I could see that as well. I could see that as well. If you look into the what's his name, Jan Blachowicz fight, um, Jan Blachowicz really, I really think he deserved to win that. But if you look into that fight, he really struggled to take down Jan Blachowicz early, and I think Pereira's had like 2 years since he fought Jan Blachowicz, and Jan really couldn't control him that much. I know he took him down in the first round, but after that, it was not as crazy. But kind of losing had my heart aching. You're working on his merch? Wait, really? That's actually really cool. I love Moicano, dude. He's like there's certain fighters that can cut a promo. Like it's not even like I don't even like his style that much. Yeah, you look at the Benoit fight and it was crazy. Yeah, you look at Jalen Turner, Jalen Turner fight. That was pretty cool. Him almost getting knocked out, then coming back and then just taking him out. But I mean the other fights before that, they're like gritty wrestling fights. Like it's not a style I'd normally be like, this guy's one of my favorites, but dude, he's just such a goofy person. Him talking about who was it? Rosas, um, the guy with the guy that gets memed. He's a really young fighter. Him talking about that guy was just like I'm not gonna pull the clip because it's so mean, but it was just so funny. Sharp Bullets hype train ended. I literally turned off the fight because I'm like this is boring. You're planning to work with a few different fighters. That's awesome, actually. Wait, is that what you do, like merch and stuff? I'll probably have to hit you up at some point. Actually, I don't know if I'll ever use merch. I don't know if it'll ever be worth it. But I feel like anything that like anything that I would try to sell would just be like my name, and it's like it doesn't really like you know what I mean. Like if I'm like selling something, I want it to be a value. Like if I'm like my school community has like 50 of my writings. Like if you're paying $5 a month for that, I'm pretty sure that's worth it. Like I don't want anyone to ever feel like I'm scamming them. I want someone to feel like I'm giving them more value. So that's really where I come from. I'm glad I watch MMA. Yeah, I train jujitsu. That's why I like it so much. It's really fun to watch the positions and watch them in the context of a real fight, especially one that high level, because you can kind of see what's going to work. You can kind of see like the things that actually are like efficient. Don't call me a stoic philosopher. That's so offensive, man. I can't believe you. I like stoicism, but I don't like it as much as my favorite philosophies are Taoism and absurdism. Those are my favorite. Those are the ones that I think hold up the most. Um, all other philosophies are kind of flawed in certain contexts. I don't think they quite hit at the paradox of life. Used to train BJJ2, joined a new local gym in about 2 weeks. Okay, that's awesome, man. How long you train for? Dude, I've been training for like 4 years now, but I'm still a white belt because I keep moving around. So like I'll submit like blue or purple belts and they just get mad at me and it's like, dude, I've been training as long as you. It's just I just keep I haven't gotten promoted. Like it's like your ego shouldn't be damaged. I've been training the exact same amount of time as you. It's like I trained with this like blue belt the other day and he was a lot younger than me and I had like 100 pounds on him and I was like he's like, oh, you bullied. I'm like, dude, I'm like twice your size. Don't feel bad about it, man. Like, I didn't know blue belt. You got two stripes on white. Oh, I got three. So it's like I hate it too because all the guys that I like train with that I've trained with for a while, they're like, "You're such a sandbagger." I'm like, dude, just tell the coach this. Like it's annoying. Like I get paired with someone that's like a higher belt and they're like trying to teach me the basics and I'm just like, all right, it's fine. Like it's don't get me wrong, it's cool that like people like are that helpful, but like I want you to fine tune the things. I don't need to know every single detail. Like tell me the exact thing I'm doing wrong. Tell me the thing that it might work 70% of the time, but if you do this one thing right, it's going to work 90% of the time. Like I want to know those details. I don't need to know the general things. You know what I mean? Like I feel so bad. I was like, I had this kid in an armbar, and everyone's like telling me what to do. I'm like, dude, I can rip this right now. I just don't want to hurt the guy. I don't know. I've been getting back into it. For the longest time, I was burnt out of it. I was like, I don't know, it just wasn't fun to do. It just wasn't something that I was like excited to do, but now I'm excited again. So last time I trained, they had me rolling with a 12-year-old and you almost scratched him because he slipped. Dude, that's so. I'm trying to think of like the worst thing I've done. Um, I don't know if I've done anything like that. I haven't like purposely ever done stuff like that, but I've done I'll like do like Boston crabs to people that are like half my size, like actually put them on, but like I'll just like go for the most bullshit submission if I know like I just not gonna have a challenge. Like I can get anything I want, so I'm just gonna go for the most disrespectful submission possible. Oh my, I don't know. I like when I get a submission that's like shouldn't work. That means so much more to me than getting us like five actual submissions. Like if I armbar you 5 times versus if I buggy choke you once, I'll take the buggy choke every time. That's just me.
Actually an art to it. There's actually things you need to learn about this, and you can become better at, just as you become better at your career, whatever you do, you can become a more enlightened and more effective social animal because we are social animals. So I wrote the book to help people dealing with this problem because when you don't understand.
Boxing is a good thing to start training though. If you want to start training MMA, I think boxing is one of the better ones to start with because it's going to teach you the basics of footwork. Um, I mean, if you can get into any form of grappling, that's going to be great. BJJ is good, but depends on the school. Some of the schools are more focused on BJJ competitions. So if you're going to start training MMA, like you have to just be aware of that. Like deep half guard is not something you want to do in MMA because I can throw 12 to 6 elbows. Like there's certain things that you're going to learn that you are going to have to be very conservative using. But boxing is one of the better things to start with because I mean Muay Thai kickboxing, if you have solid boxing, it's going to make it really easy to pick up because once you get good at the kicks, it's already there. Like if I throw a jab that sets up not just my right hand but my right leg, if I throw a cross that sets up not just my left hook, my left kick. So it's the same thing with the loading. It's just a little different with the footwork. You have to take a little your feet have to be a little bit wider, but depends how tall you are. For me, my feet have to be wider because my legs are so long. But some people, it's different. Boxing is great too. Boxing, BJJ, yeah, yeah. You're a boxing supremacist. Boxing better than Muay Thai, but it depends. It depends. Depends on the weight class, honestly. I think heavyweight, they don't. Those guys don't throw kicks. Those guys are just. If you're like 260 plus, just learn boxing. It doesn't make any sense for you to waste time on kicks and stuff. Like learn the basics, but much lower levels where you don't have the same knockout power with your hands. Um, I think it's more a requirement to have really good Muay Thai. We're talking about competition though. It's different for street fights. Your high school is 90% focused on cricket. You hate cricket. What are you from India? Boxing teaches conditioning and footwork better than anything else. Yeah, yeah. Thing is, there's different like there's I think there's different styles when it comes to Muay Thai. Like there's the people that like have a very simple game where it's boxing heavy leg kicks, knees, elbows. That's that's effective. When you start throwing in head kicks and that like that's when it kind of gets I don't know. I think it takes away from the benefits of Muay Thai. Like Muay Thai is really good in the clinch. Like that's what Sri Lanka were different. The only country in the world that I know is obsessed with cricket is India. I'm sorry, man. Like I'm sorry, I guess the larger country. I'm sorry I tried to get the question right, you know? Next time I'll just name every single one, right?
Understand human nature, when you don't understand the human animal, it's like you're operating in the dark, you're groping around in darkness, you're tripping, you're falling, you're making all kinds of mistakes. But if you understand human nature, the whole thing kind of illuminates and you're able to see people for who they are, you're able to see yourself for who you are, you make much better decisions in life.
Muay Thai and kickboxing are 99% similar. Nah, depends on the rules. So Muay Thai is kickboxing with elbows and knees, but certain kickboxing federations have those. So it's really just it depends on the rule sets. It depends on who the promoter is. It's kind of similar. I mean, it is in essence, but it isn't at the same time. It's like how there's different rule sets for MMA. Like I don't know if PFL still has this, but they don't have elbows on the ground. There's certain things that you can do in PFL that you can't do in UFC. You know what I mean? It's like it's how the thing is. I think effectiveness is more important. Flashy stuff is good for highlight reel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have a good point. I mean, it's even like Tony Ferguson. Like with Tony Ferguson, it like everyone wants to talk about his decline, but nobody really gets that. Bro, don't say shit like that, Eddie. That's not funny. Um, like why are you saying stuff like that, dude? Like, don't even put that idea into space. Don't even put that idea into anything. It's not really something to joke about, especially online, man. Like it's like if we were best friends and you said something like that to me, I'd laugh it off, but I don't know you well enough to know if you're joking or not. So like don't get me like don't get me all worked up. Like if you're actually serious, we can talk about this later. And like it's not you know what I mean? We had that entire stream yesterday where we were trying to help people out. Like I'm gonna try to help you, man, if that's true. Like you know what I mean? Like we're gonna drop everything, we're gonna help you. Like don't say something like that if you're not, you know what I mean? You're not joking, bro. Don't say stuff like that. I don't even know how to delete it right. Like I can. Yeah, I can actually. Hey man, it's not worth it, man. Don't don't say stuff like that. Don't think things like that. Eddie, do you remember the homework from yesterday? Do you remember the thing I was telling Patrick to do? Do you remember? What I want you to think about right now is the five things in your life that mean the most to you. Okay? All right? Get out a sheet of paper. I literally just made a video about this as well. Write down the five things that mean the most to you in the world and then fixate on those things, man. Okay? You need to go to rehab. Yeah. I mean, if it really is serious, man, if it really is at that stage, like you need to get help. Like it's one thing for me to try to help you, but it's another thing for a professional to try to help you. Like I'm gonna say all the things I can say, but at a certain point I'm limited. You know what I mean? Bro, there's nothing that means any that's just not true. That's literally just not true. Okay? Like I'm telling you that's not the case. There always is something. You just have to look harder. Like whatever your mind's telling you right now is incorrect. You need to understand that you're not your thoughts. You're so much more than that. Any thought that's in your mind is just you fixating on the past events. You looking at everything that's happened to you up until now and assuming that's going to continue to be the truth. The truth is, the only way to change what's going to happen is to change your ideas, change your thoughts. Yeah, don't say anything like that. Like, don't say that nothing means anything either, dude. Okay? Like that's further extenuating the problem. That's making it worse. Like, if you say things like that, then nothing's gonna have meaning. It's always easier to break things down than it is to build something up. But when you build something up, it becomes so strong. It becomes a pillar that you can lean on. But the easy answer is always to look at what's going wrong. It is because that's what we're told to do from a young age. That's what we're forced to believe. We're forced to believe that things just continue to get worse. That's not the case. The case is that you're going through a rough patch right now, man, and things always go up and down. For the rest of your life, things will be up and down. The moment that you're the most happiness, you're experiencing the most happiness, the next day you're gonna be a little less happy. And then it might go back up again, it might go back down. Like everything comes in waves. Everything comes in waves. It's very it's very easy to look at where we are right now and think this is where we're going to be for the rest of our lives, but this is not the case. Um, it's it's something that might not make sense right now, but it's something that will forever be true. Okay?
Okay? So there are two sides to the laws of human nature. You can't ignore one side or the other because if you do, it won't have any value. The first side is yourself. You have to look inward. You have to be willing to introspect. You have to be willing to face some of the issues and things that you're not good at, some of your own problems, some of the bad elements in your character. And you'll notice that
Bro, don't make jokes like that. That's not even funny. It's not even funny, man.
there are 18 laws in the laws of human nature. They cover various different aspects of human behavior: envy, aggression, narcissism, short sightedness, our shadow, our dark side, grandiosity, conformity, the whole slew of the 18 deadly human sins that we all have. Your tendency will be, I don't really have those. Oh, no. What's wrong?
Not gonna lie, I'm also going through stuff. The girl I've been with for 4 years just broke up. I love this girl. I'm here because I'm giving myself yes, yes. That's the way you have to do it, man. Like our emotions are just energy. And we can turn that energy into something good. We can turn that energy into something productive. We can make that energy into something that lifts us up, or we can make that energy into something that breaks us down. Like when you're going through a breakup, when you lose a job, when something horrific happens to you, this is going to be the time where you have the most growth because this is going to be the time where you're the most introspective, where things that you didn't want to deal with you are now facing. Issues that you didn't think were issues are now rearing its head, and now you see the depth of how bad you've messed up. But now that you recognize how bad you messed up, you can accept this and be better for the future, man. Like it's only through messing up that we can purify our souls. It's only through doing things wrong that we can understand we did something wrong and now we can not do it again. Now we can embrace this process, drop whatever judgment, drop whatever fear, accept the past as the past. We can't change it. And all we can do is look forward and move to the future. That's really all we can do. It's that simple and it's that easy. It's just getting over the thing in our head telling us that we're worthless. It's just getting around these things and just understanding that these forces are here for the now, but they're not here forever. And when it subsides, something beautiful is coming out of it, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Negative emotions can be the most insane thing to propel you from make your life better. Yes, yes. Dude, it's like I don't think I'd be where I am today if I didn't have as much heartbreak in my life. I don't think I'd be the person that you see today. I don't think I'd be able to speak like this. I don't think I would have learned everything that I've learned. I don't think I would have built my body up to what you see. Like everything I have is because of the heartbreak. It's because of the breakups. It's because of the jobs I got fired from. It's because of the times I failed. Everything I am is a testament to every time I've failed. And it's like we should almost relish these opportunities. We should almost look to these moments and smile because that just means things are about to get a whole lot better. What's coming on the other side of heartbreak is the greatest reward you will ever experience. I feel like should I at least listen to Queenie on my closet? Actually, I feel that as well, man. Because there's something about the rage in that just gets that energy out. It's a shame that I don't think Eminem kind of has that energy anymore. All the greatest men who ever lived have been through 100 times more than I have. I humble myself with that thought when I feel it. Yes, yes. The saddest thing is there are people in this world that would die 10 times over to be in your situation, would go through whatever they had to do to just have the same resources, the same opportunity, the same blessings that you've been born with. Like every time I feel myself getting down, like I always have to put things into perspective, man. Like, why am I upset? Why am I angry? Why am I feeling like my world is collapsing? There are people in this world that are working in slave labor. There are people in cobalt mines in the Congo. Like, I've never had to work a day like that in my life. I never will have to work like that a day in my life. How dare I even complain? Like, it's just the atrocities in this world, and I have the nerve to go, wow. Like, it sounds like such tough love, but it's just the reality, man. Like, it's putting things into perspective and seeing that you have a roof over your head. You have people in your life that love you. There's somebody that is willing to listen to you right now. Maybe you don't think they are. Maybe you don't think they have your back like that, but there is someone that does have your back like that. They might not even know you that well. It might be someone that you only see in passing, but they might be going through the same thing. Like, we're all in this together, dude. We like to isolate ourselves and say that what we're going through is so unique, what we're going through is so awful, but the truth is we all have sob stories and we're all here to support each other. It's just reaching out your hand and asking for help. That's the thing we need to understand. That's the thing we need to do. We're all in this together. We're all in this world to make each other better, and we're all in this world to inspire each other to become better. And it's especially in times like this when we need to lean on others. When you can't do it on your own, this is when you need to lean into others. It's not something we're told to do. We're told to be independent. We're told to be strong. We're told to not shed a tear. But that's just fucking programming. That's just a lie. We're born with emotions to express them. If those emotions go unexpressed, guess what happens? We get depressed, we get sad, we get angry. All of these things begin to manifest in our life and be brought out in a negative light. It's because we don't put them forth in a positive manner, in a good manner.
What we're talking about. I don't feel envy. I'm not an aggressive person. I'm not a narcissist. No, that's that person, my friend that I know. He or she, they're a narcissist. Okay, no, sorry. We all come from the same origins. We are
To be honest, breakups are um breakups are some of the worst things that anyone goes through. But yeah, I would have to say they're not as bad as war. They're not as bad as tragedies that are happening day after day after day. And the TikTok ban, if you cried over that, like I don't know what to tell you, man. Like if a social media app has that much pull over your life, if you think it's something so significant that you can't live without it, like you lost the plot. There's there's just go outside and touch some grass. That's all you gotta do. Go in the woods, sit there for a few hours, leave your phone, and just like I don't know what to say. The answer is always right in front of us, but it's only accepting the answer and finding it out for ourselves that makes it come true. Yeah, Eddie, feel free to if you need to just text me, man, on Discord. Just reach out to me. Um, I'll help as much as I can, man. Like all I want you to do is just I'm gonna give you the same advice I gave the guy yesterday. Like if you if you feel like there's no hope, if you feel like there's no way forward, if you feel like something bad is gonna happen, reach out to someone, man. Reach out to someone. Google whatever hotline, Google whatever resources, like text one of your family, text someone that this thing is going, okay? Like I need you to promise me that. And on top of that, I want you to really, really look to the things that make you happy, man. We all have them. We all have them. Whether it's just this stream, whether it's the Discord, whether it's your favorite movie, whether it's your favorite TV show, whatever the fuck it is, dude, write it down and read that day after day after day after day. Anytime you're down, read that. Make it to the point where it's annoying. Make it to the point where you're like, this is a fucking chore. Do it so much that you feel like you're going crazy. And I'm telling you, if you really feel it in your heart, if you really feel those emotions of you experiencing those things, it's going to transform what you're going through right now. Instead of fixating on these negative states, instead of fixating on what everything is going wrong, you're seeing the glimmer of hope. You're seeing the glimmer of light, and that light's going to get brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter until it envelops all the darkness. That's the truth of it.
all evolved from the same human ancestors. Our brains are wired the same way. Yes, some people are more aggressive than others, no doubt. Yes, some people are more prone to envy than others, of course. Yes, there are people out there who are deep, deep narcissists. We all know that. But you have those qualities as well. You can't not because we're all cut from the same.
If you're a enlightened person, that's the only point where um, you don't have any of these qualities. But I doubt there's a single enlightened person that's alive today. Um, I can't even think of an example of anyone that's close. Um, yeah, it's even if you look at the spiritual people online, they're all a little bit narcissistic. They're all a little bit subservient to emotions and fall for emotions. And when what enlightenment is you transcend the self, you transcend the individual, you stop becoming an individual, you become the infinite, and you're present at all moments. You can see it in Osho, you can see it in certain other people, but it's not something that most people ever achieve. Maybe a handful of people ever at once have it in this world.
Cloth. You have it. Maybe it's less obvious, maybe it's more repressed, but it's
No, X before Y, that he can cry, man. He can cry. Okay, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be sad. Like it's okay to have emotions. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. There's probably a reason you're feeling it. It's completely justified. But it's like, what are you going to do about it? Like, you can sit here and continue to sulk, or you can sit here and say, there's people that have it a lot worse and they're still persisting. So I should at least give it a try. I should at least keep going. And it's holding on to this idea in spite of whatever's happening. It's holding on to this state of mind and this state of acceptance where we can move forward. It's that don't force any sort of repression, don't force any sort of fear and any sort of resistance. What happens happens, man. what you're feeling is a result of what you've been thinking, of what you've been seeing. But it's something we need to it's something we just need to keep our heads up. Your dad almost died in 2020. I'm sorry about that, man. I'm sorry about that. That's hard losing a dad at that age. That's the age when you need a father the most. Um, at a certain age, you shift from needing a mother to needing a father, becoming a man, stepping out on your own. And these are things you can really only learn from a good role model. So I'm sorry that that happened. I'm sorry you had to go through that. That's something I can't imagine, and that's something I don't wish on my worst enemy. Accept and process your feelings, but control your reaction to it. Manually decide how to process and project your exactly, exactly. That's all I've been saying. Just just accept the emotions, put them in context, and do something with them. Like whether it's as simple as just going on a walk, going to the gym, you have emotional energy and you're persisting in the same thing. You're doing the same thing. You got to do something else. You got to change it up. You got to in some way change your state of consciousness, change who you believe yourself to be, change the ideas and the way you're perceiving yourself in the context of the world, and that is how we begin to alter our lives. That's the basic building blocks of alchemy. It's the basic building blocks of any sort of self-improvement idea, but it's all the same. It's inciting some sort of change that begins to change our self-perception of ourselves.
In you, okay? The laws of human nature is stop pointing fingers outside and look at yourself and recognize that you have these qualities, that you have a dark side, that you can be short-sighted, that when you have success, it goes to your head and you think you're absolutely wonderful, that you, yes, you are a conformist. You conform to what other people are thinking and doing. I'm sorry.
One of the most anti-conformists, and I have to agree with this, like most of my ideas are a synthesis of my own, a synthesis of Emerson, Thoreau, Nietzsche, Jung. Like all of these people have gone into creating my worldview, but in essence, it's not always my own. It's other people's as well. So you can't really detach yourself from everything else unless you detach yourself from everything in the world. And I haven't done that yet. So emotions are really energy. You need somewhere to put that. Yes, yes. Mental health is more important than physical health. Yes, yes. I mean, there's certain circumstances where that's not the case, but um, yes, I would have to agree on mass. I mean, if you're 800 pounds, like I think you got to worry about your physical health first because what good is mental health if you're in the cemetery the next week? But like, yeah, I would have to agree, especially for um, young men. I don't think there's ever been a time where it's been um, like there's not really a sense of purpose. I think Fight Club encapsulated this perfectly. Like every generation had a great war, and instead of a great war, we have um, corporate office. We sit there like a robot, sit in our cubicle. We behave. We don't really have the ability to mess up and the ability to do stupid things and the ability to get like hands-on experience, a sense of purpose, a sense of mission, a sense of some collective um, goal. And it's very I don't think the answer is a great war. I don't think the answer is that, but I think it's like a lot of young men are understanding this hopeless nature and the hopeless state of the world, but don't put it into anything productive. You know what I mean? It's like this is the idea of existentialism and how it leads to nihilism. It's like when you get too much into existentialism, you're like, well, all these institutions are really they're built on shaky foundations, and these don't make sense, and this doesn't make sense. And then it's like if you don't replace it with something better, if you don't replace it with something that is actually fulfilling, actually meaningful, then it's for nothing. There's no point behind it. But like you have to find the meaning in your life. You have to find the things that make you the happiest. You have to find the things that like you could see yourself doing for the rest of your life. Like find a hard task that doesn't feel hard. Find a hard task that feels fun. I go train jujitsu. I can get the shit beaten out of me for 5 straight rounds, for 5 straight minutes. My pelvis, no, not my pelvis, my fucking solar plexus is literally getting caved in by a guy that's twice my size holding me in side control. And I'm like, that was fun. That was fun because now I know how good I am. Now I know what I have to work on. It's like, find something that's hard that is meaningful, that doesn't feel like work. And that's the solution. That's the trick. But there's no outlets for this for most people. Why are you laughing at me? I think physical health directly correlates to yeah, yeah. There's I mean, if you look at the three aspects of humans, it's spiritual, mental, physical, and they all have a pull on each other. So it's a chain. So anywhere in the chain that gets messed up, it pulls the other ones off, of course. Yeah. I think a good way to live life is you find some sort of physical fulfillment, some sort of physical activity that's challenging, whether it's going on hikes, whether it's walking around your neighborhood, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's training martial art, whether it's something that's just demanding enough to keep you challenged, keep you excited, keep you going back. Something that challenges you mentally. It could be a job that you're required to keep on your toes. It could be something that inspires you to continue studying, whether it's philosophy, whether it's you get really good at trading, really good at the market, something like that, or just something stimulating to your brain. Then you need something stimulating to your soul. So that could be, again, a philosophy, that could be a religion, that could be spending time with your family, getting that warm sense of fulfillment in your heart when you're around people that really care about you, that really like you. Like, if you fulfill all three of those aspects, you're gonna live a great fucking life. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, if you just meet those baseline requirements, like that's all you need. You don't need money. You don't need fame. You don't need a nice fancy car, nice fancy job. Like, start learning to fulfill yourself with less, and the less you need, the happier you'll be. That's just a basic aspect of life that we don't like to recognize. Everyone likes to say how bad the economy is, how hard it is for the working class, how hard everything is. It's like, I hate to break it to you, but life wasn't meant to be easy. Life's easier now than it ever has been, especially if you live in the Western world. There used to be a day and age where the Mongol hordes would pillage your village and chop everyone's head off and line them all up in a mountain and then burn everything to the ground. And it's like, that doesn't happen anymore. I hope it doesn't happen. Maybe there's someone in the world where something bad like that's happening, but like, that's not something I'm ever gonna have to go through. And like, if the worst part of my life is working a job that I don't really care about, it's like, I'm sure I can find fulfillment in other aspects. I'm sure there's something that is going to make my life worth meaning, my life worth living, give it some meaning. But yeah, I don't know. I think if you just look at the world in this context, like there's a certain primal need for conflict, a certain primal need for something of that matter. But yeah, I'm starting to lose my voice. It's not it's not the end all be all.
I do that. Everybody does that. Even the most powerful people in the world have all of these traits. Some of the powerful people have it even worse. Some of the greatest narcissists among us are those with a lot of power. Okay? I want you to look in.
Most of the people that have the most power in the world are narcissists. It's a At a certain point of development, at a certain point of um I wouldn't say spirituality, but like people know when enough is enough. Like the most well-balanced people, they're not going to seek out becoming a billionaire because a few $1 million, not that much responsibility is a great life. And it's like only the people that are absolutely narcissists, absolutely put themselves first, are going to sacrifice every other aspect of their lives for the sake of being on the Forbes list. Like, it's very weird. People have relinquished philosophy and religious frameworks that they have built all that we know, and they wonder why they have issues with mental health. Yeah. I mean, that's really C.S. Lewis's argument. I think that's C.S. Lewis's strongest argument. I mean, if you look on the flip side of Nietzsche, I think Nietzsche was both good and bad for humanity. I think it got people thinking about the institutions. It made some really good critiques, but they didn't replace it with anything. They didn't replace it with anything better. And it's like, if you're going to replace a moral framework that has made billions of people's lives better, what are you going to replace it with? I'm not saying it can't be done. I just think like the idea of individuality is not going to be, it's not going to be accepted by most people. That's truly the only way to happiness. That's truly the only way to absolute fulfillment, absolute perfection of a life. But you know what I mean? Like 70, 80% of people don't have an internal dialogue. Like, do you think these people are going to be like reading Walden and understand that Walden's not telling you to go out and live in the woods, it's telling you to simplify your life. It's telling you to stop worrying about needing more and just meet the bare minimum because only when you have the bare minimum can you appreciate everything. Can you appreciate what you have? Like I have fucking probably two, 300 books in front of me, two, 300 books in my room. I can only read one at a time. What's the point of me getting more and more and more and more and more books? Because the more books I get, the less I'm like, okay, I need to take my time with this book. I'm telling myself, I need to get to the next one. I need to get to the next one. I need to get to the next one. And I'm like, I'm not enjoying them. I'm not appreciating them as much as I should. You can point this out with everything. If you have more than one car, you don't appreciate that car that you got first. You always appreciate the newer one. You got a new car. Okay, well, now you're driving it and you see someone with a nicer car. So you get another one. Like it's a never ending cycle of like trying to match the fulfillment, trying to match the desire. But the truth is, the less you have, the more you have. I agree about the Nietzsche take. You should check out Alastair McIntyre. Okay, send me Cuddy, you're in the Discord, right? If you're in the Discord, send me the books. I'll check them out. I'm just every time someone tells me a book to go through on stream, I'll remember it, but I won't remember it when I'm like I'll just send it in the Discord. I'll add it to my Amazon cart.
Inside, I want you to take that microscope, that telescope,
It's gonna be a while until I read it though. I'm sorry.
and turn it around and look inside of yourself and recognize it. It's not to beat yourself up. It's not to say, I'm a terrible person. Oh, I'm just awful. I'm so sorry. I don't even know why I exist. No, it's to give you the power, once you recognize these qualities, to change them because they're causing
Until you recognize your faults, you can't fix them. Until you're open and honest about what is wrong with yourself, that's the only moment when you can begin making changes. But before you identify it, you're just going to always say like, well, I'm just a passionate person. When I argue, I get angry, I get petty, I get this, I get that. It's like, okay, maybe it's justified to act that way, but is it something that is beneficial to you or is it something that's detrimental to you? And it's like I don't choose to persist in any emotion, any state in my life, consciously and willingly that is detrimental to my life. Now, do I still have faults? Now, do I still have things that go wrong? Yes, but I'm actively working on them and I'm actively trying to get better at them. It's like I don't justify anything I do wrong. I try to become as open and as aware of myself as possible so that I can become the best person I can be. And it's not for the sake of myself. Sure, there's some selfish needs for this. Sure, there's some selfish desire to become as pure as possible, to become as unbothered as possible. But I do it for the sake of others because my girlfriend's over there. I love her so much. And like, is it is it unfair of me to become lesser? Is it unfair of me to not become all that I can so that I can give her all that I can? So that I can become the best person possible, so that I can make her as happy as possible? You know what I mean? It's like until I'm perfect, until I can be my perfect self, I can't give her all that she needs. I can't be the perfect person to give her as much happiness as possible. And it's like we need to think of it in this aspect because it's not selfish to want to improve yourself. It's not selfish to want to become okay with yourself. It's not selfish to want to be alone and fix things in your life. It's selfish when you do it at the expense of others, but not for others.
you problems. If you have narcissism and it's a little worse than other people, it's making you say and do things that you're going to regret. It's lessening your options in life. It's narrowing your ability to maneuver in the world because you're always repeating the same problems over and over and over again. It's called compulsive behavior. When you don't recognize these traits in you, you have compulsive behavior. You repeat them over and over and over again. So it's not to beat yourself up, it's to recognize that yes, Robert Greene, I feel envy towards people.
Envy is just misplaced inspiration. This is an idea from Emerson. I really love this idea. I wrote something on this recently. Emerson had this idea that history belongs to all men, that any accomplishment anyone else can do is proof you can do it as well. If you just put yourself in the same circumstances, if you just have the same thoughts, if you have the same ideas and you persist long enough, you can achieve it as well. And not only that, you can you can become better. Whatever anyone has accomplished, that means you can do better. Because that's the natural human progression. We started off with light bulbs that only lasted what, a few hours. Now we have light bulbs that can last an entire year. It's like we constantly build upon the past, build upon the past, build upon the past, and once someone does something, that immediately means that someone can do it better. You know what I mean? It's like maybe there's certain things that never get replicated, maybe there's certain things that never get improved upon, but it's because no one tries hard enough. It's because no one puts in enough effort. This 8 minute video has taken an hour to get through. Well, dude, it's so much more fun to just talk to you guys. Like sometimes I can get through like two, three videos, but like this stream I won't get. I probably won't even get through this one because I'm starting to lose my voice already. And then we had some people like that were talking about serious topics, so we gotta like halt everything. We have to address things because whatever I had planned isn't as important as somebody. You know what I mean? It's like we need to do all that we can for the people that are here, for the people that are I mean to go into a chat and not joke about something that's serious, like that's a sign for help. That's a sign that things are clearly wrong. And I mean, thankfully, like we can offer kind words. Thankfully, like people feel comfortable enough to say things like that. Even if it's bad for the channel, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like I don't care if it's bad for the channel if we help people out. That's what this is about. You think I do this for selfish means? I mean, to a certain extent, everyone does everything for selfish means, but like, am I selling you like whatever, what are the scammy fucking ads? Actually, I'm not gonna get sued. I won't say them, but like, think of the people that are like trying to help other people and they have ad spaces. They have people that are like, oh yeah, let's go. Here's this gambling service that I use. You'll get a free code. This is my pick. Go ahead, spend all your money so that I can make like, you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about that. You know what I mean? Like, if I make money from this, it's going to be righteous. It's not going to be from me, doing a pump and dump. It's not going to be from me doing anything like that. You know what I mean? It's going to be because I'm actually helping people. I see the exchange of money as the exchange of value. I see the more people I can help, the more people I can benefit, the better off I will be. Like this is a Earl Nightingale idea that if you want to make more money, help more people. If you want to make more money, serve more people. Do something for a certain group of people and you will be rewarded with that. Like it's just that's how I like to approach these things. So I mean, if you don't like it, if you want me to actually watch the videos, like we can do that. It's just I think this is more meaningful and I think this is something that's unique to me. If you watch other streamers, they'll barely react to videos. They will basically skirt the copyright laws and just stream something and watch a movie with their chat and give the least interesting dialogue possible. Like I'm not trying to like piggyback off of Robert Greene. I want to say my own stuff. I want to use what he's saying and expand upon it, you know? Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I know it's like in my mind I already have it. In my mind I already have the skills, the capability, and it's just I'm just waiting now. Like I feel it already. I feel the momentum building. I feel everything falling into place, and it's cool that we can have a cool stream like this. Like it's not late at night, but it's getting late at night where we can just hang out and talk and have a good time, man. Because I know there's gonna be a time when the chat's just going shoo, and it's just like it's not gonna be as fun. Especially when like super chats get involved because like I'll be like, oh wow, I didn't answer this question 5 minutes ago, but I have to pretend to say something like you know what I mean? It's like it's great now because they can be so authentic. It's great now because like I don't know you guys, but it feels like I do. It feels like we're in the same room. It feels like it's just like a tight group, like a tight group of friends that are just talking, watching shit, doing some bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like it's not serious. We're not. This isn't a business. This isn't anything that like I have to like watch what I'm saying. Or, you know what I mean? It's like it's cool. It's cool. You've been watching booktube stuff for a while. Your channel is seriously unique and the quality is on par. Damn, really? Okay. The thing is, it helps me and hurts me the authenticity because there's things I know I can do that will get views. Like, where's the book? I've had this book for like a year. This is like instant 3,000 views on a video, which I haven't gotten in a while. And it's like I just don't want to read it. You know what I mean? It's not saying that's not a good book. I'd rather read this. I'd rather read this. I'd rather read this. Like there's so many things I want to read first, and it's like I actively make decisions that keep my authenticity but ruin my channel's reach. And it's like, you know, maybe it's a dumb idea, but it's I feel like it's helping so far. I feel like it I mean, the people that are here know who I am and know what I'm about, and that means more to me than any amount of subscribers that I could get. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not, and that's really how I try to live my life. Sometimes I don't live up to that standard. Sometimes I sacrifice parts of myself to feel like I'm fitting in, feel like I'm part of the group. But the vast majority of my time, I try to strive for pure individuality. I don't strive for excellence. I don't strive to be anything that is outside of myself. And that is the biggest realization I've had. Like whatever success I get doesn't mean anything unless I stay who I am. Unless I stay continuing the purification process, the alchemical process of transmuting who I am today to someone better. And it's not even like I'm just excited to see who I wake up being tomorrow. I'm just excited to see like the ideas I'm playing around with when I'm a month older, 2 months old. You know what I mean? It's like if you look at the progression of the topics I talk about, it's just like it's kind of cool to see we made it this far. You know, one of the funniest thing, I think I've only been reading books like religiously for a year and a half. Okay, this is either gonna sound insane or it's like I don't know if it's insane or impressive. It's just like when I get obsessed with something, I get obsessed with it. Like it becomes a part of me. It becomes something that I do. Like, dude, I was at like a party for Christmas Eve and like everyone's talking and I'm just reading a Camus book. Like it's like it's like debilitating in a sense, but it's what I like to do. And when I like to do something, it's gonna get done. That's just who I am. Or that's who I strive to be. Sometimes it doesn't work, but yeah. Read books when you want to, so you eventually do the yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, it's like I could force myself to read books that I know will get views, but it's just if I fall out of love with it, it's gonna be something I don't love doing. You know what I mean? Like you can check the views on this channel. Some of the videos are pretty good. Some of the videos you'd be like, all right, that's not bad for a channel this size. A lot of them you'd be like, why the fuck does this guy still do it? And the answer is because it's so fucking fun. It's so fun to contextualize books into a few points that I think can help people's lives out. Because in the process of doing this, I dumb the words down. I twist them around. I make them in a way that I can understand them in a different way. And I learn it in a much deeper level. When you can simplify complex ideas into simple concepts, this is when you can do anything. Because you get such a better understanding when you can bring whatever you're talking about to a layman's view. Someone who hasn't read the book can understand the most complex idea of it. Like that's such a skill that is underutilized and underdeveloped because we're not we're not taught to do this. And it's something that I see myself getting better and better at every single day. I'm about a year into discovering the art and purpose of reading is real. Changes it. Yes, yes. Well, I mean, there's a scene in Brave New World, um, not the fucking Captain America movie that they're like gonna butcher the work of art that Aldous Huxley wrote. There's a scene in Brave New World where it's all of the children are sleeping and they're playing like music, they're playing like a voice over a loudspeaker and the kids are sleeping and it's subliminally programming them to believe certain things. And when you're asleep, if you have something on, your subconscious is still on. Your subconscious still hears it, so it impresses your subconscious. So like if you really want to get really good at retaining information, play an audiobook while you're sleeping and try to read it the next day and it'll just like magic, you'll know it. You'll instantly be able to understand, you'll instantly grasp the concepts. It's very weird how it does. But at the same time, it's also active when you're conscious, and what you choose to put in front of yourself is what you'll choose to become. If you put rap music into your ears, if you consume bullshit content, it's going to make you more bullshit. If you watch fucking Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, shit like that, like even if you dislike it, you're gonna become more like that. If you even begin to grasp Nietzsche, if you even begin to read Neville Goddard, if you start reading Jung, like even if you don't apply it into your life, you're gonna begin thinking like them. You're going to follow their thought process. You're gonna become smarter. It literally will raise your IQ to read these intelligent minds and how their mind operates. And even if you don't remember a single idea of what they say, you will become smarter. It's a subliminal reprogramming of your own mind that is the real benefit of reading. Whatever I've learned isn't it's not as important as the things I've forgotten. This is an Emerson quote. I don't know the books that I've read, but they have made me. The ideas that he once read, he doesn't remember, but they have developed him into the greatest mind in the Western world. You can't read Emerson and disagree with me. Like that's just something that I will never die. That's a hill I'm willing to die on. Emerson is the greatest author in American history. Um, if Emerson says this, there's truth in it. I don't know a single thing of Emerson that I can disagree with. I don't know a single point that I can be like that's incorrect. If Emerson says it, it's like the gospel, all right? That's a wild tip. You're gonna actually try that tonight. Yeah, yeah. It's the same thing with like, let's say you're at the gym and you have an audiobook and you're not really paying attention to it, you still pick stuff up. It's with everything. It's literally with everything. It doesn't even have to be a book. It could be like there's like sleep meditations, sleep affirmations that will help you if you're trying to become more positive, you're trying to become a different like type of person. Um, make sure that you start doing these things because it really is a cheat code. It really is unfair. Your mind is the only time when you're conscious or when you're sleeping, that's the only time when your conscious mind is gone. And your conscious mind likes to fixate on negativity. Your conscious mind likes to see all the negative in the world and think about that, fixate on that. So like if you fall asleep with the idea that you're already at your goal for 8 hours or however long you sleep, you have that idea in your subconscious. That idea is blossoming and it's starting with a seed and it's becoming a tree. And you wake up a new person, you wake up that much better every single day. That's one of the biggest cheat codes. The where you should start with Emerson is self-reliance. That's his best essay. Um, literally just Google it and you can find it for free. What the fuck is this? They're just butchering this. Yeah, you can just this free. It's like 14 pages, I think, in the book. It'll probably take you an hour. It takes a lot to read Emerson because when you read his quotes, like this is the opening line of the. I read the other day some verses written by an eminent painter, which were original and not conventional. The soul always hears an admonition in such lines that let subject be what it may. The sentiment they instill is of more value than any thought they may contain. To believe our own thought, to believe that what is true for you in your private heart is true for all men, that is genius. Speak your latent conviction, and it shall be the universe sense. For the inmost in due time become the outmost, and our first thought is rendered back to us by the trumpets of the last judgment. Familiar as the voice of the mind is to each, the highest merit we ascribe to Moses, Plato, and Milton is that they set at naught books and traditions and spoke not what men but what they thought. Like, dude, how can you like, you know what I mean? It's like I can't read this quick because there's so much to unpack there. Like we can go over that first half of the first paragraph for 2 hours, I bet. I bet you we could talk about that for 2 hours. What's up, Patrick? How's everything going, man? You feeling better today? Did you do what I was telling you to do? So far we've just been yapping. Yeah, we got less than 5 minutes into an 8-minute video this entire time. This is one of my favorite lines. Is it so bad then to be misunderstood? Pythagoras was misunderstood, and Socrates, and Jesus, and Luther, and Copernicus, and Galileo, and Newton, and every pure and wise spirit that ever took flesh. To be great is to be misunderstood. It's just ah, like you can't just read this and go, like what, like what even is this? Like, like this doesn't read like anything else ever. I can't point to any sort of person that is so inspirational yet so unique at the same time. And Emerson's entire philosophy was the self. It was the idea that the human potential is limitless and we are all limiting ourselves. And we only need to open up to this idea and begin to accept this idea to achieve whatever it is that we want. It's it's something else. That's awesome. That's awesome. Patrick, what do you think about my writings? Be honest with me. I don't if you didn't get time to read them, don't worry. I just was wondering. Let me find another quote. I haven't gone through this in a while, so I don't remember where all the good quotes are. For young men miscarry in their first enterprises, they lose all heart. If the young merchant fails, men say he is ruined. If the finest genius studies at one of our colleges and is not installed in an office within 1 year afterwards in the cities or suburbs of Boston or New York, it seems to his friends and to himself that he is right in being disheartened and in complaining the rest of his life. A sturdy lad from New Hampshire or Vermont, who in turn tries all the professions, who teams it, farms it, peddles, keeps a school, preaches, edits a newspaper, goes to Congress, buys a township, and so forth in successive years, and always like a cat falls on his feet, is worth 100 of these city dolls. Damn. Like I don't have any take on these. Like normally I have a lot to say. Normally I can disagree. Normally I can play devil's advocate, but it's just so true. But now we are a mob. Man does not stand in awe of man, nor is his genius admonished to stay at home, to put itself in communication with the internal ocean, but it goes abroad to beg a cup of water from the urns of other men. We must go alone. I like the silent church before the service begins, better than any preaching. How far off, how cool, how chaste the person look, begirt each one with a precinct precinct or sanctuary. I don't know some of these words. So let us always sit. Why should we assume the faults of our friend or wife or father or child because they sit around our hearth or are said to have the same blood? All men have my blood, and I have all man's. Not for that will I adopt their petulance or folly, even to the extent of being ashamed of it. But your isolation must not be mechanical but spiritual, that is, must be elevation. Times the whole world seems to be in conspiracy to importune you with emphatic trifles. Friend, client, child, sickness, fear, want, charity, all knock at once at thy closest door and say, come unto us, but keep thy state. Come not into their confusion. The power men possess to annoy me, I give them by a weak curiosity. No man can come near me but through my act. What we love that we have, but by desire we bereave ourselves of the love. Where is it? There's a class of persons to whom, by all spiritual affinity, I am bought and sold. For them, I will go to prison if need be. But your miscellaneous popular charities, the education at college of fools, the building of meeting houses to the vain end to which many now stand, alms to sots, and thousandfold relief societies. Though I confess with shame, I sometimes succumb and give the dollar. It is a wicked dollar which by and by I shall have the manhood to withhold. What channel in the Discord can I recommend videos? Um, just put in the videos, honestly. Like honestly, I'm not gonna be too strict. I'm gonna be like, oh, you said this in the wrong. Like just whatever you think fits, man. Whatever you think fits. But I'm not gonna stream too much longer. I'm literally starting to lose my voice, and we've been going for like an hour now. So I have to go take my girlfriend out on a date, or not that I have to, like I want to. I need to beat her in bowling, so I'll update you guys on the scores later. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for having a good time. Um, Patrick, Eddie, I hope that you guys are feeling better. Please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always here for you. We're all always here for you. If you don't think you can do it, we think you can do it, man. That's it. That's it. Don't let us down. Don't let yourself down, but don't let us down as well. We we have the utmost faith in you, and whatever you're going through, you're going to knock it out of the park. With that said, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.